Okay, so we have added the face tracker library to the project. We've created the user interface and embedded it in our view controller class. Now I'm going to show you just the basic code that you need to get a reference to that face tracker view controller and start communicating with it and start tracking the face. So here is our view controller class definition file here. This is the only file that code file that we have to edit just to get things up and running. So the first thing that I've done here is import the face tracker module into the file so we get access to all the face tracker code. The next thing is I wanted to make this view controller class conform to the face tracker view controller delegate protocol. So this protocol is what defines the methods that we have to implement to receive points of detected facial features when the face tracker is doing its tracking thing. Okay, so the next thing I've done here is created a local property for the actual face tracker view controller. So once I find it in the storyboard, I can keep a reference to it in my view controller, so I could start and stop tracking. Okay, after that, these are just two boilerplate methods here. I haven't changed anything in them. The next method that I've added is an override for prepare for segue. So as you recall, prepare for segue is called when the storyboard performs a segue. And we do have one special segue that we've added. If you recall, in the storyboard, we added an embed segue. So that actually gets the segue runs when this view controller appears on the screen and embeds the contained view controller, which is the face tracker. So we've identified that with a special segue identifier here. So if it detects this identifier in particular, it knows that the destination view controller will be our face tracker view controller. That we put into the user interface. So all we're doing here is just setting this property of our class to the actual instance of the face tracker view controller that was instantiated, and the face tracker view controller delegate is set to this class, because remember that's the protocol that we're conforming to. Okay, so that'll get set up in the background, and then what happens when the actual view appears on the screen, we already have now that reference to the face tracker view controller instance, and what we'll do in the view did appear method is we will start tracking. So if I call the start tracking method, it will start actually tracking the face. This start tracking method takes one parameter, and it's a closure, it's like a completion closure. When you call this, it's actually an asynchronous method. So on some devices, it may be a little bit slow to get started tracking and showing the image on the screen. So this, rather than pausing the entire user interface while it starts up, it's asynchronous, and you'll know that it's done setting up and starting the tracking when it calls this closure as a callback. So I don't really, in this demo, really have any concerns about doing anything special once it starts tracking the face. I've left it blank. It doesn't take the closure as an optional, so you do have to put a value there in this particular API, but you can just basically have it do nothing. So I just put a sort of a do nothing closure here. Okay, so the one last method here is just an empty method, just for our purposes right now, is face tracker did update. So this is the actual protocol method implementation. This method is required if we conform to this delegate protocol here. So I put in just a blank implementation at this moment. In a second I'll show you a more fuller complete implementation that actually does something, but this is the method where you actually receive those face points. This is where you receive points that show what happens as the face tracker is actually tracking the face, and then you can use those points however you like. Okay, so that is the basic implementation, sort of minimal implementation of getting access to this face tracker and starting it up. If you run this, you won't see anything on the screen because we haven't actually implemented any views or graphics. We'll do that in a second. But from here, you can basically go in any direction you want to go.